Ndito kangine Uwemedimo Amesire. So ndi I'm going to copy this program from me back in Dubi or Basen. But I just want to say Amesire for free. So I take now for joining me in this program. Well, I want to say good morning to everybody and to all of you who join me today on the show. I want to apologize for starting the show, behind the schedule, but it was a technical issue that we could not, or beyond our control. But thank God we are here now, because there's no way we say we're gonna be on air and we cannot. So I thank God we are here now. Okay, if you are watching from Facebook, YouTube, please try to share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Share and invite people to join the live broadcast today, because we have very interesting discussion today. And don't forget to follow our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ndito Akwa Ibom TV. That's YouTube name, Ndito Akwa Ibom TV. Then click on subscribe. Don't forget to click on notification button, so that when we are live like this, you can also get notification that we are live, and then you can join us today. Okay, on the program today, our guest is Mr. Uwemedimo Owo. He's an Akwa Ibomite, but he chose to live in Abuja, not in Akwa Ibom. So he's very much alert, about things that happen in Akwa Ibom State and affairs and a lot of things. Is very current, if I should say that. Anyway, he will prove it to you people today whether it's current or not. So he'll be talking with this. Today we are interacting. He's not in the hot seat today, so I'm not going to ask him questions, because he's not in any office. He's not getting any position in the office, in the government office. So he's just a normal person like us. So that's why it's also open for you listening. There's a phone number there on the screen. So open for you listener to join the discussion. You can call from WhatsApp, or if you have more, if your pocket full, well, you can call directly, and then you get your call through. So our topic today will be on this upcoming election in Akwa Ibom State, COVID-19, and the reshuffle of the government offices. So it's gonna be a very good and interesting topic today. So, but before that, we come with our guests and we continue. We would like to take a musical break. So by the time we come back, we'll continue. And my name is Edna. Don't go away.
I come discover, say there's no place like home. They call me Mish, hey, African wonder. A sunny day in New York City, in an African restaurant. I was waiting for my order, it was taking like forever. See this white Oyibo man, he was pushing through the line. Okay, waiting you they find Oyibo Allah. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me carry a pussy. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Amala, ewedu, see, I like women that are made in Nigeria. See my friend, maybe she's made in Nigeria. You don't know what you have, you lose it, God forbid. Sweet love, yeah. See, Nigeria beautiful, Nigeria know that too. Nigeria like to hustle, Nigeria know that tire. Nigeria get to talent, Nigeria milk and honey, Nigeria feel my below. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me carry a pussy. Sweet no be my past. No designer, no be my past. She no want to Prada, she no want to Gucci, she no want designer, she's made in Nigeria. She said take me to a bar, buy me everything, beauty club with pride. Oh yeah, everywhere I go, made in Nigeria. I say my people know they talk, made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Anything, baby. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Can somebody help me now? Fufu. Can somebody help me now? Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Amala, ewedu. Akwa. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me gari egusi. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Amala, ewedu,
tuwo. Okay, thank you for staying with us. Well, now we are joined. Our guest is joining us all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. I thank God and we pray that let this network still stay like this, and then we'll be very happy. And it's on the show. Okay, Mr. Uwemedimo, welcome on the program. Can you check your volume? Is that your volume is not really connecting here? We hardly hear you what you're saying. Can you hear me, Mr. Uwemedimo? Okay. Maybe he's trying to fix his volume anyway. So while we wait for him to do that, today, like I said, we'll be talking about the upcoming election, local government election in Akwa Ibom State, and the COVID-19, because that's the COVID-19 is still there. It hasn't gone yet, so we cannot stop talking about it. So, and the reshuffling of the government offices. Like we all know, recently, His Excellency, reshuffled his cabinet, maybe changed some commissioners to different office, and some removed them, send them to a different place. So this item we need to talk about today. So if you are going to join us on the show, there's a number on the screen that you can call to interact. So while we want to try again to see if Mr. Uwemedimo will be able to join us. If you cannot come with the video, maybe we have to link him up with a WhatsApp call. So while we're trying to do that, I just want to leave you with music for you to... Come on. Be right back, please.
Pending and some fun. It is a come out of thousand. talamami namdenti moiri hukarapa. Amenu turi karare krusung damarangaro. Epani kometi are bonsire hiro. Sama kere yenu weme marami babe pamo. Hiro yemi hiro kayo kumanu somni komo. Menu turi karare so. Menu turi karare so. Amanu turi karare so.
Okay, thank you for staying with us. I think we won't be able to bring Mr. Uwemedimo video at the moment. Anyway, you can still see his post pictures. He's still showing there. Okay, but we have joined him with WhatsApp, so hopefully this gonna make it work. Okay, I want to welcome our guest now on the show. Good evening, Mr. Uwemedimo.
Good evening, Edna. It's good to be here once again. So sorry about the network connection here.
That's why we need to do something better. We want that country to be okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway, don't worry.
It will be all right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining us on the show today. I won't take much of your time. We have already spent a lot of time already without even doing anything. So I just want to ask you, what is your view about the upcoming local government election in Akwa Ibom State?
Well, I think local government election in Akwa Ibom State, to me, it's just a political procedure that must happen because we've not really seen any impact of the local government on the total development of the state, as it were. Because normally, a local government is supposed to take governance to the grassroots. Because you have to develop from the grassroots. But in a situation whereby the so-called local government chairman and the councillors do not even have powers to execute any project. So it's just a normal procedure. It's just a ritual for me. There's nothing really to look up to anywhere. For instance, the federal government actually wanted local government to be autonomy, to be able to control their own funds. Akwa Ibom State, in particular, out of 31 local governments, about 28 local governments joined the state to sue the National Revenue Allocation for the audacity for that body to want to separate the local government account from the states. And then you begin to wonder, are these guys, the so-called local government guys, are they not elected? Are they not, first of all, supposed to be loyal to the people of the local government? But then that is what it is in this part of the world. So elections are coming. It's just there is nothing to look forward to because there is really.
How could you say there's nothing to look forward to? I mean, because I believe that the local government is just like a primary that's that deal with they know more, they are closer to the people than even the state government.
Well, that is a real thing. That we have three tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. Now we've been made in this part of the world to look up to the federal, specifically, and to a little extent to the state. We don't even remember there is a local government. That's for your information. You don't even remember. We only hear in nomenclature there is a local government, but what we don't see their impact. Let's go. Which of the local governments in Akwa Ibom State has, and the chairman has been able to do anything substantial other than pay salaries at the end of the month? Apart from paying salary, going to market to collect levies from market women. Ask them which school have they built, which school have they equipped, which hospital have they equipped? You get what I'm talking? Where is the pipe bomb water that we're talking about? Which of the local government chairman can boast of any tangible thing he had done the past 3 years. Nothing.
But some have
Because they don't have power. They don't have the fund. All their funds
but
are domiciled in the state.
Mr. Uwemedimo, what I don't understand is that the federal government has given these people power to control this money, these resources, so that they will be able to touch the life of the common people in the villages. But what do you think might be the reason why they went to the court to say they don't want to?
The reason is the same, because I believe that the government, the state government, through the leadership of the governor, have threatened them. You get it? I've threatened that they should not be independent because the state wants to control the funds of the local government. Reason why
maybe
most of them are just.
Could it be maybe the state government believe that the local government chairman will squander the money? Maybe that's why
How
they
will
want
the local government think? How would the governor think that the chairman was elected? Give him his money to work. You could actually be able to hold him accountable based on the funds available to him. You cannot come and tell me that I my own money, that I will not be able to spend my own money. So you have the ability to spend my money more than I can spend my money, and yet you go to the local government. I don't know the last time you went to Akwa Ibom State and see the rots in the so-called local authorities. There is non-existence of local governments in Akwa Ibom State, as far as I'm concerned. All those guys are stooges of the governor, right? Because the governor, the state government, whatever they want to use local government funds for, the federal government came out. Okay, since the government there are 3 tiers of government, let the local government have access to their funds. But what do we have? 28 out of 31 local governments, right, took joined with the state and took the federal government that they don't want to have their own funds separated from the state. How would that have happened if not they have received some threat from the state government? So to me, the forthcoming election in the local government is a ritual. There must be an election, not that we should expect any special thing. However, tendencies are that most of the contestants are handpicked. Therefore, they must play. Whoever pays the piper takes the tune.
What do you mean handpicked?
Handpicked in the sense that, because I can't imagine somebody who is being elected that does not have his own power to challenge, to ask questions why his monies are not given to him. So, for instance, my people voted for me. You cannot remove me from the office if I am doing the right thing, because I am an elected official, just as you are elected. You get it? So if they were elected, they would have the authority, the audacity to actually ask questions. But they can't ask questions because they were handpicked. That's just what I can see.
Yeah.
So these guys that are here, if I am doing the right thing, because I am an elected official, just as that this is ongoing. So I'm not looking forward to any different. It's just going to be the same thing.
So are you not going to go to Akwa Ibom and cast your vote in your own local government?
Peradventure, I am in Akwa Ibom that time. I will vote as a responsible citizen, because as a responsible citizen, it behooves of me to make sure I vote. But for me to vote on the argument that these guys are going to do anything different from the norm, I'm just deceiving myself.
There are some local government chairmen who said, or people say, they have done so much. For example, Okana from local government chairman, he said there was, as you know, that local government, but I heard that he came in and peace, how to restore peace.
What define restoration of peace? Is that the only mandate he was voted to do? His mandate was to provide a 360-degree security to the people. And when we mean security does not necessarily mean a gate man. Security here, food security, job security, access to good education, access to good health, access to protection of life, safety of life and property. So by the time some hoodlums, take up arms and begin to cause trouble in the state, which may have been sponsored because of the rivalry of two and then you immediate them, and then you count that as an achievement. Sometimes the chairman should go and hide his face somewhere. How can you call that an achievement?
When last did you go to Akwa Ibom?
When last did I go to Akwa Ibom State?
Yes.
I was in Akwa Ibom State 6 months ago.
6 months ago?
Yes. I was only because of the COVID-19, I couldn't move. I would have been there in June, but it was because of the COVID-19. So I'm very confident with what
when you said these people are being handpicked, what about the forms they were selling and the consultation people were going from house to house? So what about all those things?
These are all make believe. These are all so that you will feel that one, the party need to use it to raise some funds. They know who they want to. They know who they want to make the next chairman of any local government. So all those consultation and all those things are part of the deceit to the common people on the streets who would not understand the game of politics, especially in the space called Nigeria. Because as far as I'm concerned, so a situation whereby they come and say they are doing consultation, they are buying form, they are getting okay. First of all, look at the form. How much did the form go for? Right? And then the local government chairman that earns how much? Less than 50,000 or 100, 200,000 naira in a month. And will have such money to buy form, especially the sitting ones. So you understand that a lot of mirage, a lot of things are happening in that place. That it's in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, there are only two governments: federal and state. There are some that there are no even existence of state government.
Let's see. I think we got this call on the lines. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from, please?
I'm calling from London. My name is Benjamin Antero.
Oh, Benjamin. All right. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just call in regards to what that guy is saying. I know he's absolutely right with what he just said, because when you say elections in local government, and also when they say that autonomy to the local government and people who are supposed to embrace a system like that, going against such system is quite alarming, honestly, because I didn't even know about that. That Akwa Ibom was one of the states that actually went or rebelled against that decision. This is the best that can happen to any local government or in the state, because it brings independence to the local government. And any local government or any state that does not embrace that sort of system means that the state is totally a failure. The reason is because when you empower those local governments, you will see that each and every one of us will be touched. Then the local government councillors with their local government chairmen and supervisors, everybody will work based on their wards. The councillors will be in charge of their wards. They are the right people to know the problems of their people, and they bring it to the center, which is the local government itself. And from there, when that happens, when every ward is touched one at a time, then you will see that the reflection will come into the local government. It will make life very easy for the local government. And we, for example, if you are from Paden in local government right now and you're from Ward 2 in Paden local government, you don't need to go to state to emphasize the problem. You need to just put yourself together with your ward councillor. From your councillor, then you link up with the local government, and the local government are the ones that should be able to take care of every little thing that goes around their local government. For example, your local government on its own, as it is, people should be able to look after their market. They should be able to raise their revenues. They should be able. So that independence will create a very big help to the local government itself, and that will make the state government not able to influence the election decisions in those local governments. But when you see this kind of system happening right now, the reason why you're seeing this happen is because the state on its own, as the guy rightly said, they can handpick some set of people and say, you know what, you have to go against this decision because that will affect the election. It will affect the election, because when you have a system that the local government is independent, they wouldn't even care, because they are also elected officers to the offices. So they do not care about the state, and the allocation will come straight directly from the federal government. So they can now do what they have to do for their citizens without considering the state. It doesn't mean they will not bring something to the state. They create they generate their own revenue and bring it to the table of the state. Then from there, the state will take it to federal government. We wonder how they want to do it. But that independence is so very important that we need to go back to that. And this is the only way that the state can actually grow, you understand, without any influence in our politics and the rest of the things. So I just wanted to say, let me just butter up what my friend was saying. So it was a very good point, but Akwa people have to wake up strongly and see to what happened.
Okay, but Benjamin, let me ask you some question before you leave. And what of that big Mr. Uwemedimo Owo have just said something. He said the federal government gave this local government chairman the power to handle their resources, but they even went to the court to challenge the federal government power. That means they want the money to pass through the state government.
Yeah, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. For example, how can you be a local government chairman and you want to have your direct mobilization from federal government and you are going to write a petition against that? That is being sick. That means there's something influencing that. That's what I'm saying to you, that there is a power in the middle that is trying to go against that decision because it will affect them during election. So the state wants to control the local government because of elections. They want to be able to have all the local government to themselves so that so that they can use that during the elections. But if you have a local government being independent, you understand, not having nothing to do with the state, you will see that this will be the first time we will ever have a clean and clear electoral system in the state. People will start being independent. All this kind of going to you to fight and die through Togri and the rest of them will not happen. You hold a local government chairman responsible, and they can set up their own small budget and live around based on their revenues and their income. So it was the best that could ever happen to Akwa Ibom State. But if they've gone against that decision, that means the shareholders or the local government chairmen do not have a clue what is going on.
Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you.
Mr. Uwemedimo, are you still with us?
With you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard the caller?
Well, I couldn't hear you, because of the WhatsApp call I'm making with you. So, but then I'm listening to him on YouTube directly.
Okay.
So I really can't place his argument.
How come you can't hear him? Because I could hear him very well. How come?
No, what I mean is that I am on a WhatsApp call with you, so it's a personal call. So you are just beaming it, but through YouTube, I'm on my laptop here. I could hear him, and then it's of what he said.
It's a three-way call, because I can hear you, I can hear him. The same thing, he can hear you, and you can also hear him. So I don't know why you are not.
Could you
because of the WhatsApp call. I don't know.
Could you summarize?
So it was just adding to what you said about the local government. You just he said he was just watering what you said about the local government. So if I want to go over again, because I'm looking at our time, we have another topic to talk about.
Yes.
So next time you need to pray very hard for our country, Nigeria, so that we can have a good network.
And I mean the federal capital, I'm surprised.
Imagine, and it's like that. Okay, we cannot move from the local government upcoming local government election now to COVID-19.
Yes.
So now there is so much. This is a sickness. This is a disease that affects the whole world. Yeah. Now, in a small state like our state, precious state like that, how do you think the government? Handled the situation very well?
Well, I'm always giving to Akwa Ibom State this time around. The COVID-19 was well handled in the state, That is why Akwa Ibom State happens to be one of those states in Nigeria that have very low case of the so-called COVID-19. If we are to do a criticism, we won't critique the states on it because it's supposed to be a federal government issue because the federal government didn't handle it properly. As it were. And as I am talking to you right now, in Nigeria, I don't know if NDC, what do you call them, Nigerian Disease Control Center, if they have been able to actually decipher, to understand what COVID-19 is, or they are still depending on the international community to come up with results because they don't have facilities to even do the proper analysis to understand.
No, but we are talking about Akwa Ibom here because I remember.
Like I told you, Akwa Ibom State handled it well. But then the only issue of this that I'm going to bring to you is the COVID. It's the issue of the palliative. You know, during the so-called lockdown in the states, the palliative. As it was distributed, there are some stories that federal government sent some bags of rice to the states, and somebody somewhere took it and then didn't distribute it accordingly to the people. Those are some of the shenanigans, some of the silly things that happened.
So, are you saying you did not receive any palliative from the state government? Or you don't know anybody that received the palliative?
I don't know anybody. I don't even want it. If it existed, if there was anything called palliative, it existed. I don't want it. I'm in Abuja here. I never saw any. In Akwa Ibom State, I have family members. None of them told me they collected any palliative. Like I'm telling you, federal government actually took some bags of, in my knowledge, because I know somebody that can accompany it, and delivered it to the states. To the states. And the states and the state said they want to test the rice if it was good to share. And then in the process of saying they want to test if the rice is good to share, it entered voicemail according to what we have here.
Where did you get this information from?
Don't worry, I have my sources. It's have my sources.
You don't consider that your source might be telling you lies, or maybe the information might not be accurate.
Because the source is part of the person from part of the federal government delegations that accompanied the rice to deliver. Right.
So that means the source did not do he or her job very well, because he would have stayed there and make sure.
His job was to take it. He will not go and distribute in the states now. Takes it to the state, hand it over to the states, and then the state continues from there.
Okay, now you say you really believe what this your source is telling you. Now, did your source tell you who he or she handed over the palliative to in Akwa Ibom?
It was at the state secretariat.
State secretariat. So who received them?
I don't know. Make your research. You are a journalist.
No. I think you're supposed to, because you say you have a reliable source. So that's what I want to know.
The government official received it.
Which government official?
A government official who is supposed to receive. Which of the government official is supposed to be in charge of doing this?
So there's a government. That means there's a ministry of palliative in Akwa Ibom State.
Is there anything called Ministry of Palliative?
I'm just asking.
And I'm just okay. Now, if you are to take something to the state government, where would you take it to?
I don't live in Akwa Ibom, so I don't know.
No, what if you were to take something there? Would you take it to the street? You have no clue of the people you will give. So that means you are not even interested in taking palliative because you don't know who you are going to give, right?
So now in terms of the COVID-19 patient, because there was some rumor that the commissioner for health then came out and announced a different figure, and the state government came out and said different figure as well. So we don't know which one.
The reason why that happened was very clear, because Nigeria as a whole received COVID-19 as not something substantial. They just heard about it, so nobody really knew about it. Nobody was able to subject anything to test to understand what they are talking about. So, for instance, Mr. Group A or B might have patients that have cough, and they are 20, and the man says that it's COVID-19. Another group B or C might have people that have catarrh, and they are 5. He says 5. So, because they did not understand, they don't have the facility, the know-how to actually analyze, to understand, carry out a proper research to understand what this thing is. So they rely on sources externally to be able to understand. So that is why you hear that a certain group, there was a time that they even went to threaten some states, that some states should forcefully declare COVID-19 in their own states. You understand what I'm saying? So a situation like this conflict happened not because they don't want to do something, because there is no understanding, no clear-cut understanding to deliberately study to know exactly what is COVID-19. Therefore, the tendencies to be conflicting is there.
Well, so now as a Akwa Ibomite, so are you trying to say that you are not happy, or the government it could take the this
No, the
COVID-19
government,
serious?
the government took it seriously. They actually built isolation centers. They have some of the best facilities for isolation centers in Nigeria. I can actually tell you that they did
And they say
well
they have about
in preparing.
nine ventilators.
Ventil- yeah. That's what they say.
That's what they say, but you haven't been
So
there.
that's what they say. What would you do? Government said this is what they have, and they tell them, let me go and look at it. They say, no, don't look at it. What do you say? So that is what they say, that they have 9 ventilators. But honestly, talking about COVID-19 as a matter of fact, I think it was time that we as Africans, we as Nigerians, we as Akwa Ibom people understood this disease. We should have made a deliberate attempt as a people to understand what this virus is and how it behaves. And as such, we'll be able to tackle it in our own way. However, but what we do here, we just, of course, you are aware that here in Nigeria, somebody has headache now, you don't go to hospital anymore. Reason you don't go to hospital, because you go to hospital, you'll be seen as a COVID-19 patient. So every sickness, every death in Nigeria now has been recorded as COVID-19. So we don't even know what the so-called COVID-19 is anymore, because it's been politicized, right? So when you talk about COVID-19, honestly, I hate to talk about it, because it's a mirage as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway, because we started late and our time was counted, so there's nothing we can do at the moment, because I can see they are giving me signal, so we are just going to rush this last topic.
Okay.
Now, how do you see this second term? His Excellency Amy, can you work office like commissioners, like for information has been moved to the Ministry of
Petroleum,
Environment and Petroleum.
That is the most misplaced commissioner I've ever
What?
seen. Misplaced.
Misplaced.
You see, misplaced. Wrongly allocated office. Now let me explain my reasons. You see, when His Excellency Uwemedimo Owo government came into being in 2015, we all had huge expectations because of his person, because of who we perceive him to be. As of that time, he's been there, done that. He has been to the zenith of corporate world. Therefore, we actually thought that when he comes in, is going to drive in that experience. But as I'm talking to you now, Akwa Ibom State is still the second most unemployed state in Nigeria.
Unemployed state. What about all the
Yes.
industries about Akwa Ibom?
But all these industries, you see, that's actually my problem. Whenever a government is supposed to set up industrialization, it should be built based on what we call comparative advantage. Comparative advantage. Any industry that does not have a high value chain cannot address the issues of unemployment in a state like Akwa Ibom State. You get it? That it was neglected.
Mr. Uwemedimo,
Yes.
I remember one
Yes.
time His Excellency said something. He said, "Oh, upon all the companies about Akwa Ibom, that none of Akwa Ibom mines are already Aboki immediate distributor."
That's you can't argue like that. And we are not talking about which industry. Is it the pencil? Is it talking about the pencil? Is it talking about the syringe? What is it? The flour? Are they? Where are they? I tried to search for
Okay,
them.
you
I'm
just
not seeing
mentioned
them.
some now: pencil, toothpick, flour. There's a meter company there as well. Coconut. I
No,
think
the point
coconut
is that
factory is also
these
there.
companies, we are talking about addressing the issues of unemployment. What is wrong in Akwa Ibom State investing in oil palm production? Because oil
But
palm
what about this
production,
one? They are
no,
investing
listen,
coconut
listen. This
factory,
one, there
tomato,
are no
toothpick.
Edna. How we found can employ KBRL? How many people are being employed in that place?
But there was a time they were showing on the TV that people were working there, and
And
it's,
of course, you should understand the government and its propaganda. What we are
and
saying, what we are addressing, what we are talking about here is unemployment in the states. You go to Akwa Ibom. Let me give you a little story here. I have a particular product. They call it a hand sanitizer. Somebody came from Akwa Ibom State, and when he came to Akwa Ibom State, I just showed it to him. The man bought over 10,000, and he went. I asked him, "Why are you buying all this?" He said he wants to go and give to these boys that come to beg for money to go and sell and make a living. And you keep hearing this story of people begging, young boys who are graduates don't have jobs, things are, and yet you have a government that is sinking money in ventures that do not create massive. What we need now is massive employment. We need to create value chain. Now, what I'm talking about is when you create an industry or a factory that you want to talk about, you should be able to think about how many people will be engaged, because your headache as a governor is the numbers of people that are out of job in that state, and you are busy going to talk about you're talking about flour mill. How many people are employed in that place? What is the market strength? What is your value chain in that place? Who are you selling this flour to? What is your comparative advantage? When you want to cite in a place like Akwa Ibom State, when you want to cite an industry, look at what the people, both educated and the uneducated, can easily key in and move, because you must engage people. See, don't for the market pencil factory. Pencil. How many pencils do they create in? I mean, do they produce in a day?
but they
And
have
in production,
tomato factory of tomato farm. So
tomato
if you
farm.
want to talk
Okay,
about
Nsoko Kobo Banga
the
farm. Nsoko Kobo Banga farm. We are talking about comparative advantage. Our people are known basically. Yahuda Kofian. Our people are known. The people of Akwa Ibom State are known number one for oil palm. Ibaya, the state probe its energy. I invest in oil palm production, and of course, you know the market price in these things. In this way, you have the environment is conducive. You have the people are very knowledgeable about it. You have the market. So why don't you invest in this? Then I'm going to talk about tomato. Fine, tomato you have ground, but do you have knowledge about planting of this thing traditionally? No. What you are going to do, you are just going to go and create it and bring in people maybe educated or these great farmers to come and do that. In doing so, you are limiting a lot of people access. What we need is massive employment. Think of something that can employ people en masse. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this now takes us back to the reshuffling. of the local, of the commissioners. Now you have a team of people. For instance, that is the one I'm going to talk about particularly. I know that Minister of Information that was taken from Charles Udo, who was the commissioner there, and is now being taken to Ministry of Petroleum. This is Charles Udo that has his background in communications. Charles Udo has background while he was in the bank in communications, and now you are now taking him to an area where he knows nothing about. Here, as a commissioner for information, what were his achievements? Charles Udo is one person that talks and not listen to anything. Where is we expected that by now we are supposed to be here in Abuja and be able to watch AKTC on a satellite television. We are supposed to go to the vendor and buy the Pioneer newspaper in Abuja here. Akwa Ibom brand under his watch had those night. Nosedive. We don't even, because Akwa Ibom brand, at least in the days of this other guy that was very funny, at least people talked about it. But today nobody talks about Akwa Ibom State because the brand is dying gradually as a state. And then you're now taking him from that, and then you now brought in Uwemedimo. Well, I don't know Uwemedimo. I just know Uwemedimo as an activist. You can't bring an activist to come and manage a corporate, political, a state information portfolio. It's going to be the same thing like we are having.
But I think Uwemedimo, number one, I think is a lawyer, and also I think he was PDP publicity
secretary in PDP. As a publicity secretary in PDP, it was more of an opposition, a propagandist. You can't bring a propagandist to come and manage a state information. That's one of the things you should know. And when I came up, I see the shenanigans of going about painting places, and by that, not all this nonsense they are doing up and down. What we Akwa Ibom brand needs to be created. You need to deliberately create the Akwa Ibom brand. And that is the function of a commissioner for information. And I expected Charles to have done that, but he failed. And you are now moving the person that failed in an area where it was his own turf to an area he knows nothing about, petroleum and environment. And I want to understand, why do you personally take Charles to the environment? And you find out that a lot of money comes to the environment there from the state and from the federal government. And then you have a lot of environmental issues in that state. Meanwhile, we have a commissioner. So the reshuffling is just change boys from one position to the other, not that they're actually creating a team of people that want to work. Because if Akwa Ibom had a team of workers, one of the fundamental issues they should have thought about is to address the embarrassing case of unemployment in the states.
I think we are not. It's like you are not just happy with the way the government is doing things in the Akwa Ibom state.
I'm not happy because we expected more. We expected more. We expected a lot from
if you have been called, April code fin Dadebo Yafodi, I did appointment Akwa Ibom, would you go? Which office would you like to go?
If I am called to become anything in Akwa Ibom state, as it were, I will tell you categorically, one, I will ask for a free hand. If you're not going to give me a free hand, then I'm not interested. But I think one of the, I am a man in communication and in branding. I can't go to anywhere. It's either you take me to Ministry of Information, because I know that Akwa Ibom State has, as a brand, is very, very expensive. It's very expensive. It's very, very expensive. But how do we harness the potential of the Akwa Ibom brand? Because if you don't brand your state, yeah, okay, Edna Bakere is admired. Mention Akwa Ibom in the UK, but mention a state like Delta, then ask the question, between Delta and Akwa Ibom State, which came to existence first? That is brand management.
Okay, I think we just have 1 minute left. If you can just
Okay.
give us a summary, can summarize, or what do you have for the people of Akwa Ibom State before you leave?
Yeah, what I have for the people of Akwa Ibom State is that Akwa Ibom is a very great state. It has potentials to become a dominant state because I remember in the days of the 2015, I was contacted by one of Udom's men then to come up with a deliberate economic roadmap for the state, which it gave me the opportunity to discover the wealth of Akwa Ibom State. I noticed that Akwa Ibom is the wealth in Akwa Ibom State is beyond oil. I just wish Akwa Ibom people could understand the potentials of its resources and then expand it. What we should do is let us look at investment in comparative advantage. So first, it's just like some people are going to shout about the issue of the seaport consultant is in exclusive list. Is an exclusive list of the federal government. How long are you going to be staying there on an exclusive list of the federal government? So you would have spent all your energies in that place. Meanwhile, we have a lot of resources in the state that we are not tapping in. I expected us to begin to open industries that have mineral resources readily available in the state. We are not talking about the ocean, the ocean economy. You go to Oron. Oron has one of the biggest seafood markets in Africa. Yet we don't even know how to invest. And the investment is in that place is that we are actually working according to the comparative advantage. Because the people of Oron are fishermen. People of Akwa Ibom, a lot of them are fishermen. So by the time you invest in the ocean economy, you are actually going to engage both the educated and the non-educated. And the issues of unemployment is easily addressed. Not for you to go, Ibom Air is beautiful. Ibom Air is beautiful, but how many people are employed in Ibom Air? Imagine that you would have used that Ibom Air fund and invested in the ocean economy or invested it in oil palm production. Imagine
Okay.
how many people would have been employed.
Okay, Mr. Uwemedimo,
Yes.
we would have chatted enough, but the network did not allow us to. So I must still
Yeah.
apologize for that anyway, though we started late, and I'm just been giving
Yes.
signal that I need to pack my load at the moment. So I want to say thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you very much. I'm
Hopefully
sorry for
next
coming up
time
late.
you will start on time, and so that you can have
Yes.
enough time to talk.
Yes,
Maybe
I
one
will.
or two people might join, so that we can have a good interaction.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Edna. It was a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that was Mr. Uwemedimo. Is, as you know, from Akwa Ibom State. Though we started late, we could not able to do all we wanted to. Discuss what we wanted to discuss today. But I'm very sorry. We will continue next time. And before I sign off now, I want to say a big thank you to all those people. I mean, you've been sending your feedback to me, asking some question. I wanted to sincerely respond to your question today, but the time is not on my side. So that's why I can't do it today, and I will promise to do it next week. That's next Sunday. Definitely, I will do it. So I apologize for that. And next week, next Sunday, when I said next week, some people said maybe Sunday is the first day of the week. Next Sunday, we'll be having a guest. By the grace of God, if everything works fine, the chief of staff will be joining us live again on the show. You know who's chief of staff anyway. The former commissioner for works. So he will be on the show next Sunday to talk about so many things. As a lot of questions I've been waiting for. So hopefully, finger crossed. Network is always the issue here, so that's always the problem. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much. And before I go, they just tip me now. This Ndito Ibom youth in diaspora raffle draw they are doing. I said it before, mind you, it is not Ndito Ibom. It's not the media, it's not the radio station that is doing the lotto. It is a group called Ndito Ibom youth in diaspora. They are the one doing the lotto. So they're asking that we should just show their advert, their flyer on the show for people to see. So if you are from Akwa Ibom, put over ntan ko im gike rongen hebo nton put photo kwa won ya for a debt ticket a bread in low to me, because it has been like twice now kemoinam low to me, people have been winning. Ebo ntoki yem ya Ndito kang ne win this time him yeme ya Ndito won a win. So I don't know how you want to do that. So they asked me to speak Kiko Irongen. Expo. So if you know you are from Akwa Ibom, I'll make sure that okay, that's the little flyer then on the screen. Yeah. So put the offer to Akwa Ibom to make sure that careful. I made it the raffle draw, which is ticket is 1,000 naira. First prize, star prize there is 50,000. Second place is 15,000. Third place is 10,000. And I think all the information you need to play or to enter or to sign up for it is on the flyer. So if you are from Akwa Ibom, I think this is an opportunity for you to win. Don't just sit down and say, oh, fake. Kena for so ties robo ntoro ni to ndege so dem tikere mion. Ni do Yoruba so dem tikere mion. Last draw then the okay. Awo ndege dem aga win 40,000 naira. The do kang in the veso ties robo ngbo me na mtom. This is an opportunity for you to grab it. 50,000 naira at the take amako. You don't need to buy 50,000 50 tickets to win. Just one ticket, God might even be by your side. Long for shine for win. So if you are living in abroad, you can buy you someone and you can for back in Nigeria. But that you can for must be the board, the call at the board, the price and any bank account in Nigeria. So well, I just hope ke eme ko senta address on my tangi come back and ba won fini ko nambo ke we am fi bon left kwa me bon ticket. This is what I'm being asked to say, so that's what I'm saying what I'm saying. So okay, all right, I'm back now. Okay, thank you so much for joining me on the show, and I apologize again for coming on air late. So I want to say thank you so much, because I don't want to I am so hot right here, so I just need to go. So I want to say thank you and God bless you. See you next Sunday. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ndito Akwa Ibom TV. You know, that's the YouTube channel. Subscribe, click on the notification button so that my name program to me, you'll be able to get notification that the show is on. Also follow us on our Facebook page, Ndito Akwa Ibom Media. So I always forgot saying this. Okay, thank you for reminding me, Mr. Paul. So okay, right now I just have to sign up now for today. So thank you and God bless you.
if you can timber and I'm going back, you get a kakero. Some minute when you got over a so. Over a minute when you got over a so.